It was a random Tuesday morning back in July of 2018. It all started out normal for me. And by normal, I mean I struggled to get out of bed as usual, ate my bowl of oatmeal as usual, and was running out the door by about 7:30 as usual. A tired morning like any other and already wishing it was the weekend. I've only been driving for about 5 minutes, and as I'm heading to work, I've stopped at a red signal light. And I'm about 3 signal lights away from entering the 225 highway ramp. One car is ahead of me, and others are lining up after me. As the light turns green, the car in front speeds off. I'm taking my foot slowly off the brake, and just as I'm about to press the accelerator, I hear this big boom! And then I just stop, and I think to myself, wait, what just happened? What was that sound, and why did it push me forward? Did someone just hit me from behind? And I'm sitting there for a few more seconds when I see the cars to the left have started moving. And when I look in the rearview mirror, there is a black truck behind that also hasn't moved. And then I tell myself, yeah, I was just hit, and this most definitely is a car accident. And so I'm a bit shocked, but also really nervous. I put my RAV4 on park, turn the blinkers on, tell myself, let's do this, and I get out. When I go around to the back to see the damage on my car, which happened to be a pretty medium-sized dent, the driver of the black truck comes out too. At first glance, he's wearing a black baseball cap, red flannel shirt tucked into his pants, and he was just a lanky-looking guy all around. Early to mid-20s if I had to guess. As he's coming towards me, he's already talking to me saying, my fault, and I'm just thinking in my head, well duh, it is your fault. I mean, come on. But I didn't say that to his face. I looked straight at him and asked, do you at least have insurance? He goes, yeah, I sure do. Let me go get it. It's in the truck. He asks me if I have mine. I tell him yes, and we both go back to our vehicles to get our insurance. While I'm getting mine, I'm in my head thinking, okay, this was an accident. It happened on a public street. I should go ahead and call the police so that way an accident report can be filed and we'll have a legitimate document to use just in case anything happens. A few seconds later, I'm on the phone with the LaPorte police, and I notice that he's gotten his information out and he's waiting outside. But then he goes back into the truck for whatever reason, and I don't think anything of it at the time. So I'm on the phone with a dispatcher, and she's asking, is anybody hurt? Where are you at? All that necessary information. I'm still on the phone with her. We're just about to wrap up, and I hear his truck turn back on. I'm looking, and all of a sudden, in just a few seconds, he makes this really sharp turn to the left lane next to us, and he's driving off. I'm still on the phone with the dispatcher, and I go, my God, he's driving off! And she goes, at least get the license plate. Can you do that? I tell her, yeah, it's KSJ 9480. And he was like 10 feet from me, so I thought I had gotten a really good look at the license plate. She goes, okay, we'll send a police officer right away. Is there a safe place you can go to, like a nearby business? I tell her, yes, there's one directly across from me. I give her the address, and we end the call. Now, at this point, I'm still outside of my car when another car pulls up behind me and starts honking at me. And I look at it a little bit confused, and I'm like, you know my blinkers are on. You know something's up. Either my car broke down or there was an accident. And this is a 4-lane street. 2 lanes going and 2 lanes coming on each side. Go ahead and go around me. But nope, the car keeps honking. And I look back at it, and I look a little bit closer, and I notice that it's my coworker. And she's not honking because I'm not moving. She's honking because she knows me. She moves into the left lane now, pulls up closer, rolls down her window, and asks in a far too eager voice, what's going on? And I go, I was just in a hit and run. Some guy hit me from behind and drove off. And she goes, oh my goodness, are you okay? And just asking me all these details that I do not have the time for. I tell her I'm fine, that I need to wait for the police to file a report, and she says she'll let our supervisor know to not worry and to take my time. And by this point, there are other cars piled up behind us. We're both blocking the road. This time they're honking because she's not moving. I tell her, let's not make a bigger mess than what it already is. Let's keep the traffic moving and I'll go wait for the police. We say our goodbyes, and by this time, I am terrified. I need to get off this road. Why? Because if she spotted me, there's a high chance the people I graduated high school with who still live around here spotted me too, and this cannot be happening. 10 minutes later, the police officer comes by. Thank goodness he did not have the siren on. He gets my report, confirms the license plate, and lets me know that with a hit and run like this, a lot of times these situations come to a dead end, either because the owner doesn't respond, the license plate is faulty, whatever the case. So if I want to pursue an investigation, I would have to file official charges. I go, okay, I'll think about it, but let's first see what comes up of the license plate. Again, his truck was 10 feet from me, and I thought I had gotten a really good look at the license plate. The police officer says he's going to reach out to the owner of the vehicle to see what's going on, why he did the hit and run, so we can sort this all out. That he'll be in touch. 30 minutes later, I'm about 3 to 4 minutes away from work, taking the Allen Parkway exit on 45, when the police officer calls. He goes, here's the thing. I checked out the license plate you gave me, but it is registered to a blue Dodge Durango. Is it possible that a Dodge Durango hit you? And I go, no way, this was a black truck. Those really heavy duty pickup trucks. He goes, okay, I'm just making sure, because not only is this a Dodge Durango, but the registration, its owner, lives in Arkansas. Now, I'm going to reach out to him and see if he knows anyone in LaPorte that may have had his vehicle or his license plate, but to be honest, I don't know what's going on. It's all really fishy. I'll be in touch. Another 20 to 30 minutes later, the police officer calls me back. He goes, okay, so after a few missed tries, the owner eventually calls me back. So he is a military man, which means he's traveled a lot, but he's never lived in Texas. Nor does he know anyone who may live in LaPorte or the surrounding areas. So I'm not sure what kind of license plate you got. Maybe you mixed up the numbers. It could be stolen, but something's up. And at this point, I'm just out of my mind. I'm so frustrated. I ask myself, how could I have made such a big mistake? Was my vision that bad? Do I need to go back to the doctor's office and get a new prescription? Oh, what happened? The police officer tells me he's going to play around with the numbers to see if we can come up with a black pickup truck, and that he'll reach out later in the day. Now, I'm frustrated, I'm sad, I'm angry at myself, but I go to work anyways and try to keep things as normal as possible. I'm trying to keep normal while my coworker is constantly chatting in my ear saying, first step is to always take as many pictures as you can. That's why you have a cell phone. And I'm like, yes, I know. It was my first accident. I was overwhelmed. It just didn't occur to me to take a picture. And she goes, yeah, but this is what happens. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I get it. I'm living it. And as I'm working, I get an idea. I get on the internet and I go to a license plate website where you can look up the plate numbers for free just to see what kind of vehicle it belongs to. I just wanted to see if the license plate I gave was registered to a pickup truck. When I searched, it was registered to a blue Dodge Durango, just like the officer said. And then I start playing around with the numbers. I'm thinking maybe I did mess up. So I play around and I do come up with about 5 or 6 other combinations that are registered to 2017, 2018 pickup trucks. I'm writing all these options down on a yellow Post-it, ready to give them to the police officer whenever he calls. Fast forward later that afternoon to about 2 or 3 o'clock. The police officer calls. I have the Post-it in my hand, ready to give him the combinations to look up, and he goes, here's the thing. I don't have to look up these numbers anymore because the guy that hit you actually turned himself in. I get quiet. I process. Then I go, wait, what? He answers, yeah, the guy that hit you, that did the hit and run, actually turned himself in. He came into the police station a little while ago and confessed. I take a deep sigh of relief. I go, really? And I can hear the surprise in the police officer's voice too as he tells me the details. The fact that someone actually turned themselves in this day and age. When the police officer asked him why he did the hit and run, the guy just told him the situation was taking too long and that he had to make it to court. So I don't know what that story holds, but as we're wrapping up this call, I'm thanking him and he's letting me know the guy's insurance looks legit and I should be good to go. I go, wait, can you at least tell me how off I was with the license plate? Was my vision that bad? He puts me on hold to grab the file and says, you gave me and the dispatcher KSJ 9480, right? I respond, yes. He tells me, well, the actual license plate number was KSJ 9840. Oh. So yeah, that was my bad. I had mixed up the 8 and the 4. But thankfully, the guy that hit me had a heart and turned himself in, so I didn't have to keep blaming myself. A week or so later, once I did get the accident report, I did also notice that he lived only 2 streets down from me in my same neighborhood. So even if he had not turned himself in, which I'm very happy he did, just saying, had he not, eventually I would have seen that truck driving around my neighborhood. I'm just happy I got this version of the story instead. And this was my very first car accident.